So this is an overview of Planet Zoo at night time. I've done pretty much the same sort of thing in Planet Coaster, but this is the first time I've tried a nighttime version of it. I think I've come into my own because I've gotten used to how to do all the lighting and things like that. So, I mean, this is even better, I think, really. I don't know, Planet Coaster is good. I think it comes into its own. I think this also comes into its own as well. We're not going to be seeing too much of the animals because I think a lot of them are just sleeping, really, because it's night time. And so the rest of it just sort of comes over like a theme park with all the brightly coloured paraphernalia, all the trees, all the buildings. Yeah, we are overlooking an enclosure here. This is the alligator, the North American alligator enclosure there. You can see there might be a little bit of movement there. They're sleeping at the moment. It looks very swampy, doesn't it? So we're going to see quite a few overviews here. Lots of little exhibitions for people to go to, lots of food places. Still a few of the rides, or all the rides that I've actually put there are open as well. So yeah, I think it does come into its own at night time, and all the colours and everything that you can see there. Passing over a few more of the enclosures. Got about 13 or 14 animals in this park. So in case you did miss it, I have put up a previous version of this in the daytime showing most of the animals. Lucky enough to download quite a few mods for this to be able to put them in and then build around that, some of which I've produced myself, others of which I've just simply taken advantage of what was there and just simply placed it into the park for speed. And they actually have real glass. I call it real glass. It's all synthesized because it's a computer, but they didn't have that in Planet Coaster, I don't think. So they got something that actually looks like glass now with the reflections of glass. So there is sort of a realism to it. The same as that enclosure here just in front of you. This is your flamingo sanctuary here, and one of the monotrain cars. It's quite different than the monorail in Planet Coaster because this one is just single cars that goes around, holding about 8 people in each. The sort that you would get for a zoo park of sorts. So of course night time I decided to give this more of a pink overglow, being as it's the flamingo enclosure and the monorail running over the top of it. All these cars are paintable, so you can paint them whatever colours you really want to, but I chose to just simply leave them in the colours that they came with just for this one because it seems to work. Next time I build a park, I'll make delay on letting the people in. It's a little bit different than the Planet Coaster, but because once they're in, they seem to stay in, and you can't seem to close the zoo as such. And also, I think I'm going to make sure that they can't buy balloons, because they've got these balloons everywhere. They're running all over. They all seem to be running everywhere as well. Mysterious lighting there on the lake down below there with the green. It's almost like Halloween colour, isn't it? I just chose to do that really, to give it some underlighting of green. And the Land Rover ride as well. This is one of 5 rides that they've got here. This is meant for your safari attractions. I guess this can be a little safari train as well. This is a small steam train. You can actually see the steam coming out as well. Now on Planet Coaster, I think at night time, once it turned to night time, you couldn't see the steam. So they've kept that in here. That's really nice, isn't it? Look at that. Going into an enchanted forest now. Or maybe the Serengeti Plain. I have to have some animals into this part as well, won't we? Make a very, very large enclosure for the train to maybe go through. I'm sure I can do that. We can have all things like wildebeest and Thompson's gazelle, wild bongo, and pop your giraffes and zebras in there as well. Passing the front of the entrance building. And working back into the car and coach park. Yeah, you can put a coach park here. I love the idea of building outside the parks, the same with the theme park as well. Building your theme park and then having an outside area. I think there's something really fun about that. Yeah, virtually everything is customizable here, which is great, except the actual animal. You get the animal, you make the enclosure. Once you've done the enclosure and all the right bits and pieces, you can then place an order for the animals to be placed in there, however many you want to go into there. And eventually they'll be placed into there, and they have children and all sorts of things. It depends what you want to switch on in those boxes. They will behave exactly as animals will. Or not quite as animals will, depends which one you tick and untick. If you go into sandbox mode, you've got more freedom to do exactly what you want to do, which is the mode I'm in at the moment. But even then, you've still got to follow a few little rules as well down the line. There's also various different challenge modes as well, which I would recommend having a go, and various different tutorials in the you call it a game, I don't know, I call it like a construction kit. And this is another of the ride vehicles. They're all some sort of transportation, aren't they? The detail is astounding. Get right close up to these rocks over here and you can even see moss on them. Now the lens refractions there as well, you can see it in the water. That's a nice scene, isn't it, there with the trees in the background. This is inside the bear enclosure. They're sleeping at the moment, I guess. Some tutorials. I know there's many on there. I'd like to have a go at some. I think starting right at the beginning, how to start the whole thing off step by step and building up a park from there onwards. And anybody wishing to have a go at it themselves can do just that, and then you'll start doing things your way. But just to give you a basic idea of how to start it off and then move through. Once you get the hang of it, there's no stopping you. It's for people that like to sit down doing things like jigsaw puzzles. Do something like this. It's actually more constructive, and you've got a whole world at your hands. And when you finish that one, whether you liked what you did or not, you can build another one from scratch. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Stick around because I will do some tutorials on this down the line summertime and on Planet Coaster. Thank you very much once again for watching. See you all again on YouTube. Cheers. Thank you. Bye.